welcome back to the show. Okay, now right now I know we're having a little bit of technical. And do comment. I'm just looking right now at our Facebook, so it is blowing up. So I just want to let everybody know the thing. It's amazing. Here today, we're here with veteran Nick Holyoke, also a member of the Invictus game. So this is kind of being a little bit, and then we're going to bring in our class, and they're going to ask some questions. So Nick, let's move forward now. How did you get? And you get an introduction to the game through that, and then we'll move along. So, but go back to 220 or 219 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was actually a little bit earlier than that. It was 2017, and a friend of mine had forwarded me an email saying, "Hey, Soldier On and True Patriot Love are running some camps this year. You should apply." Because at that point, I was in the process of being medically released. And so I applied to go to a ski camp that was here on Vancouver Island at Mount Washington. And so I went skiing for a week out of the office, and it was, it was great to be outside. And again, it was an activity that I kind of enjoyed and had fun with. And I got to talk with some other military veterans that were having some struggles too. And it kind of gave me a glimpse into the fact that I wasn't alone in what I was going through at the time. And at the end of the camp, they said, "Hey, listen, don't forget, we've got the Warrior Games coming up. The Invictus Games is coming up." And to be quite honest, I've never heard of them. And so on a whim, I applied to be a team member, and I was thankfully chosen to be a part of Team Canada in 2020, on the 2020 team that was going to go to The Hague, which is, you can see my scarf up above my head. But world events coincided with our attempts to go to The Hague, and COVID shut the world down for a couple of years. And so we were put on hold. And during that time, we didn't really know if it was going to happen again, and there was a lot of confusion around whether or not we would go as a team, or if they would have to pick new teams. And luckily, I was able to stay on. And despite having to go through some surgery and a few other health concerns, I managed to stay on the team and went to The Hague, and got to experience the start of the games in The Hague until I caught COVID and ended up, as part of the Team Canada rules, got quarantined in my room for, so I got to go to another country, which was the first time we traveled since the start of COVID, and spent the better part of my trip to the Netherlands in a hotel room. So it was me, Uber Eats, and Netflix for the better part of 10 days, much to my wife and kids' annoyance, who were at a different hotel, because that's just the way you stay over there. And yeah, so it wasn't quite the experience that I was hoping for. I was pretty disappointed. So I came home, and I talked to the organizers, Soldier On, and asked if I could apply again, because I was pretty bummed with how it all worked out. And I submitted my application, and again, I was chosen from, I think, 650 applicants to go to Dusseldorf, and it was a huge pleasure to go again. I mean, and it really took all the pressure off me. I mean, there's two reasons why, and I'll get to the other one in a second. Because I've been through the Invictus experience going to The Hague, I kind of had an understanding of the emotions and all of the rigmarole that goes behind these massive trips to a foreign country. So I could kind of talk to a couple of people on the team that may have been a little bit more nervous going to Dusseldorf. Also, the pressure was off me because I had a heart attack 6 weeks before going to Germany. And so I'd spent 2 weeks in hospital. So my cardiologist wasn't really very impressed with me going to the sporting event. But I said to him, "Hey, listen, my whole team and everybody else on all the other teams has gone through a tremendous amount of physical, emotional, mental hardship to get to there. Plus, we're in Germany, so I mean, if something was to happen, I'm probably going to get some pretty amazing healthcare. Not that I would wish that on anyone." But yeah, so I got to go to Dusseldorf last September and compete again. I competed in cycling, rowing, and wheelchair rugby. And I tell everyone that is listening, wheelchair rugby is like rolling therapy. You get to have a ton of fun on the court with some of your best friends and smash into each other and yell and scream and throw balls at each other and try and score tries, which, I mean, what more could you ask for?
This is great, Nick. Thank you for sharing that. Like, I know because the Disability Channel covered the Invictus in 2017, And let people know right now, this is a live studio. We do have a cat in our studio, so people are commenting right now. I can see on our Facebook page people commenting, "Hey, I can hear a cat." Yeah, there's a cat roaring. There's a dog here too. So, but I want to get back to the 217 games, because when we covered it for the first time for the media, the the energy, the positivity, the support, the kindness with all the veterans, and it was truly amazing on how you see these, these veterans that are, they're pretty tough people, how they just open up their heart and wanted to support their fellow veteran, no matter what country they were from, no matter what sport, no matter what they had. It was just truly amazing to see all the different countries come together. It's almost like, it was almost like it didn't matter who won. When I was watching this, it didn't matter who won. It was just like, hey, you got to finish the game, you got to finish the round, you got to cross the line, and we're gonna make sure you get there all as a team. So I commend you, Nick. Tell us now, because obviously the Victus games are coming to British Columbia in 225. Have you had any thoughts, any ideas? Are you trying to involve any? Can you tell us what you're thinking about that? Because
Yeah, I'm in BC. I'm in Vancouver Island, so I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away. So I've submitted my name to be a volunteer at the games. In Canada, it's typically you get a one-shot deal at being at the games or at the Warrior Games, and I was lucky enough to do it twice because of, as I mentioned, my previous health concern. Um, so I'd love to go as a volunteer. I've done my first interview, my preliminary interview to talk to the team and kind of express my interest. And I said to them, I'm a qualified cross country ski coach, and I'd love to go and assist with the cross country skiing. I've worked with athletes with a disability up here on Mount Washington, and I've worked with sit skis and helping people with a variety of mobility issues. So I'd be happy to be involved. I also was saying that I'd love to help the Nigerian team get out there on snow, because I have a funny story. When we were in Germany and it was probably 30 degrees out, we were all crammed on a bus, and I was sweating profusely because I'm a sweaty, gray-haired guy. And so a couple of Nigerian athletes got on the bus seat next to me, and they were wearing puffy jackets and toques, and they had their scarves wrapped around their necks. And I was looking at them saying, "Guys, what are you thinking?" And they're like, "Oh man, it's so cold here." And I laughed and I said, "You think this is cold here in Germany at 30 degrees? Wait till you get to Vancouver in February. It's going to be a whole new experience." So I think that the opportunity to hang out with those guys who they like to have fun and maybe teach them how to slide on the snow would be a pretty amazing experience. So yeah, I'd love to be involved somehow.
that's That's a great story. Well, hopefully, we're going to come out there, we're going to connect, and, the more veterans, the more volunteers, the better. So I think what we're going to do now, we're going to take another break. I see our Facebook page again is blowing up. Everybody's commenting about the kitty, which is good. We love our pets. But when we come back, we're going to open it up to the classroom, and I think what would be best is if the class can put the question on the Facebook page, and I'll read it off unless we have a scenario. But let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and open up the Q&A for veteran Nick Holyoam, who's also a member of the Invictus game. So stay tuned. You're watching Veterans Corner. We'll be right back.